Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fellow classmates. My name is Kenya Harrison, and I'm coming at you from Savannah, Georgia. And welcome to the first installment of our class media project, and I will be presenting Chapter 6, Digital and Video Television. Now, our text asks, why study digital television and video? Television is one of the most ubiquitous communication technologies, which really just means that it's everywhere, not just in America, but all over the globe. I can tell you that I've traveled the world as a U.S. Marine, and one of the most fascinating things I ever saw was in 2002. I was in the country of Thailand, and many of the homes that I saw were maybe 200-300 square foot shacks, but each and one of those homes in the cities and in the countryside had television antennas sticking out of them. So television is a global phenomenon. Technological advances are creating new ways to produce and distribute and view television programming, meaning HD, 3D, new ways to view television programming is here and it's here to stay. And number three, television is increasingly delivered on mobile devices, changing not only where people watch TV, but also how programming must be produced. And this became very evident to me back in December 2012, December 1st. I was at a local restaurant with some co-workers, and it was the SEC championship game. The Georgia Bulldogs, University of Georgia, against the Alabama Crimson Tide. The SEC championship games, one of the best games of the year, and the restaurant did not have local television stations. Now, they had cable, but for some reason they didn't have any local television stations. But to the rescue was my mobile device, because I had invested in this contraption here called the Sling Player. This Sling Player hooks up to your DVR, and it transmits a signal over your mobile device. Therefore, we could watch the game. And my phone saved the day. So there was probably a group of gentlemen around me watching and wanting to know each and every snap. And surprisingly, not many people have heard of the Sling Player. So I was very surprised. But we were able to watch, unfortunately, Georgia lose that game 32-28. But again, it was just something that was introduced that is just part of our culture now. Something that is going to be ever and growing as we study communications. Now, one of the things our text notes and that I learned doing this project is that we are now called a over-the-top television society, OTT TV. That's us in America, because we like to access our television when we want and where we want. On smart TVs like this one, we have access to programming on demand from the broadcast stations themselves, paid services like Hulu and Netflix, Blockbuster, Amazon Prime. All these services are available to us at our fingertips because Americans are choosing to pull their content rather than have it pushed to them by the broadcasters. Nielsen noted that for the first time in 12 years, the number of U.S. television households has declined between 2011 and 2012 from 98.9% to 91.1%. with over 114.7 million TV homes in 2012. Now, they attributed this to various factors, including a decrease in the economy, but more and more people are choosing to watch their television on demand, pulling it when they want to see it, where they want to see it. Digital and video democratization. Digital television displays and higher definition video recordings are increasingly common features in mobile phones, used by 5 billion people of the world's 7 billion, according to our text and Grant and Meadows. HD and digital recordings has increasingly become affordable, so with more access, there is more of us in the population who can use this technology. The expanding universe of digital television is being driven by the improvements of high definition video cameras for professional production and the simultaneous inclusion of higher quality video capture in mobile phones. Now, I'm recording this presentation on an HD camera. Now this thing is waterproof. I can submerge it and take pictures in our local pool. I can use it at the beach. It is shockproof, dustproof, windproof. And I picked this up last year for less than $150. This camera is incredible, and it is fully HD. So this technology is becoming cheaper and more affordable for all of us. The background. So how did we get here as a country? Well, the evolution of digital television is upon us and has come. The global conversion from analog to digital television is one of the most significant changes in broadcast standards since the color images of the 1960s. Now, the United States completed its transition from its national conversion to digital broadcast technology, which was mandated by the federal government in June of 2009. Now, we have two common types of digital displays. We have HD and SD. Very simple. High definition, which means higher images, higher sound quality. Standard definition, SD. Standard digital quality, standard sound. Now, our text covers in detail the history going all the way back to the 1970s and 80s of HD technology in Japan. Now, we won't cover that, but it is there for you to reference. Now, according to Grant and Meadows, there are two primary areas affecting the diffusion of digital television and video in the United States. An ongoing battle over the digital television spectrum between broadcasters, regulators, and mobile telecommunications providers, and the diffusion of new digital technologies. Now, what does this mean? That means you have broadcasters which have content that they want to share over the airways. You have federal regulators, laws that must be passed and observed by the federal government, as well as companies like Sony, Vizio, Panasonic, LG, all these companies competing for our services and introducing new technologies into our culture. So they all have to find a way to work together and to bring the best content to us as Americans. Now, HD TV adoption and viewing. Now, the bottom line is HD is here to stay, and it is growing. The U.S. digital television penetration in 2011 was estimated to be 79 million households out of 116 million, or 68%, up from 38% in 2009. Now, HD TV sets are becoming cheaper to purchase, and they're even standard in some cases. And I can be added to that 79 million, make it 79 million and one, because companies like Dish Network and DirecTV are vying for our services. And just this past Monday, I decided to switch. I've been with DirecTV for over the past 8 years. But I switched to Dish because of their new technology. They have the Hopper with the Sling player, as well as HD television programming. I'm getting HD for free for the next 24 months. And remember, I talked about how I use this Sling player, which connects to your DVR receiver. Well, now, with the Hopper provided by Dish TV, these two elements are combined. So I don't even need this box anymore. Now, I can simply access my mobile device using the DVR with the Sling player integrated by Dish Network. Now, this is a trend that we should be looking out for, because you're going to see the fusion of different technologies. We saw it with the phone and the camera, and you're seeing it now with DVR services and transmission devices in order to view things on different types of elements, such as our iPhones, our iPads, and of course, our computers. Digital video technology. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail here, but there are tons of options out there for your HD viewing. You have liquid crystal displays, organic light emitting displays, plasma displays, all these displays. But what you should know is that the average size of digital television now is from 32 to 60 inches, with the average price of about $300 to $2,200. Evolving trends. Over-the-top TV. Now, we talked about the pay-for-demand services with Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, and increasingly you're going to see that advertisers are going to try to integrate themselves into these services because they want to reach their audience, and they're realizing that their audience is accessing this content in different ways now. So a service like Hulu I subscribe to, and they have the best of both worlds. I have to pay them a monthly fee so that I can access the content that I want to see when I want to see it. But they also throw in 30-second commercials every 10 to 15 minutes in your programming. So they're getting the best of both worlds, making money on both ends. And that's just a trend that's going to continue to increase as we pay for these services and advertisers want to reach their audience. Two-screen viewing. Now, we've seen this trend evolve pretty much over the past few years. And I remember this more vividly with the American Idol. American Idol, I think, was one of the first television programs to integrate texting into their program for voting. And now you see it with programs like American Idol still, The Voice, America's Got Talent. You have the judges on these shows interacting, Facebooking, tweeting throughout the program. And this is where the audience gets to interact with guests and entertainers on these programs. And so you're going to see more interactive television in the future. The availability of more 3D TV. Now, I picked up another television set which happens to have 3D technology in it. And I never used this for 3D. I've had this TV for maybe about 3 years, and I've never accessed it for 3D viewing until about 2 months ago. I have a couple of young children, and we rented a movie that happened to be broadcast in 3D, and we threw on the glasses. And I tell you, it was an incredible experience. And I had this technology all along. It just came with the TV. I wasn't even looking for it. But now that I've seen it and it works incredibly, it's something that I look forward to as more 3D movies are being broadcast over the networks. Mobile TV. Now, this is my favorite because I invested in mobile technology to watch sports, particularly football. I'm a big football fan. And so I specifically invested in that Sling technology in order to watch sports. And I have a little secret that I like to share with the classmates, something that you can enjoy family time as well as see your favorite programming. Now, what I've done is my kids love the Disney Channel, and I love sitting with my kids watching the Disney Channel. But let's be honest, there's only so many times you can see reruns of Dog with a Blog. So while I'm sitting there with my children, I will plug in my phone, and yes, I will watch the NFL Network. Just a little trick, but I get to spend that quality time with my children as well as watch the programming that I want to watch. And of course, HDTV and more regulation from the government is something that we need to look for as communications students. So, my class question. So as you have seen in this presentation, I am a purveyor of digital technology. And I have noticed through this project that I actually watch more TV now that it's at my fingertips. Before, I had to choose between program A and program B. But now that I can watch program A and record or pull program B, I watch more television. It's just something that I've noticed doing this project. And so my question to you is, what digital television technologies have you invested in? Have you bought a Sling player? Have you bought an HD TV? Do you subscribe to a satellite service? Do you subscribe to a pull service like Hulu, Amazon? And how has it impacted your television viewing? I've enjoyed giving you this presentation. Again, Chapter 6. My name is Kenya Harrison. Have a blessed day.